Thanks for making time to take the What Level Sales Leader Are You quiz. Your quiz results report is being created as we speak and should be hitting your email box in about 30 minutes from now. In the meantime, let's talk about your results. I'm Mike McCormick, founder and president of PeopleRight Consulting and creator of this assessment. And I've been working with sales leaders like yourself, as well as sales leaders at higher levels, for over 20 years now. Based on the information you've shared and the little I know about your situation, your type of sales leader is what's known as the polar bear. What that means is that, like a polar bear, the majority of the time you're focused on a pretty small world or team. Think of it like this. Polar bears typically have 3 to 5 litters of cubs during their lifetime, and each litter has 1 to 3 cubs. So their world revolves around teaching about 10 of their offspring how to survive on their own. And since you have 10 or fewer salespeople on your team, if they're like most sales teams, you probably have 1 to 3 who are struggling to make it, 3 to 5 who are doing okay, and 1 to 3 who are knocking it out of the park. So you're likely to be focusing your time on helping those who are struggling the most to help them at least survive, just like a mama polar bear would do. This is where most sales leaders start out, and some will always be working in groups of this size. And while we all have to take care of ourselves first and foremost, polar bears often don't know what they don't know because they've learned everything they know about survival from one or a very few people based on their limited experiences and may not be aware of all of the other possibilities that are out there that could help you maximize the productivity of your sales team. You may not have any frame of reference for the tools and processes that more experienced sales leaders or those who lead much larger sales teams used to increase their team's sales productivity. This type may be good at certain parts of managing and growing their teams. Polar bears can be narrowly focused or feel like they have limited resources, and they miss opportunities that they could be making good use of. And if you're always figuring things out based on your own experience, you might have to learn some things the hard way instead of learning from other sales leaders' mistakes who've already gone through what you've gone through. And polar bears can develop some bad habits that are hard to break. The one big mistake polar bears can make cause you to think that you can't afford to do what sales leaders at the next level are doing, i.e., making use of more advanced tools and processes to find and keep more top performing salespeople on your team. While other sales leaders have found tools that help them make much better decisions about both selecting new candidates and how to best coach those they already have on their team, you may feel that you don't have the time or resources to do that. And you'll always be limited by these limited beliefs and be relegated to make the same mistakes in the future that you've made in the past, which can be frustrating and concerning for you. And here's the thing. The impact of those missed opportunities gets greater over time. Not only do you miss out on the benefit of making incrementally better people decisions over time, you're missing out on ways to cumulatively collect data that can increase your decision-making processes in the future. And not only could you be learning these things, you could learn how to teach them to your team so that they don't have to go through the same learning curve that you had to survive through. Not only could you add people to your team who are more likely to succeed, but you could coach your existing team to higher performance by starting to measure and track objective human characteristics that the best salespeople in your specific market have in common. Think of having more time to spend on your core business because you're not having to spend your time dealing with salespeople who are underperforming and taking up all your time. Think about being able to increase your compensation because your team is performing better and you can go on better vacations or send your kids to better schools or be able to take time and go see some of your kids' activities or events. All of those things you can't do much now because you're so overwhelmed with survival. Thankfully, there's some practical and achievable steps you can take to get past the hurdles that are holding you back. In fact, there are three unconscious beliefs that most sales leaders have. Even though there is often one dominant belief, it is important to rewire your thinking in all three of these areas. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know what those three beliefs are? And more importantly, how do you rewire your thinking around those beliefs so you can start making better people decisions to lead a more productive sales team? Well, this is what I do all day, every day. I help leaders of all ages and stages of life to bust through the challenges of their team's performance. And I just so happen to have a step-by-step training on this very topic. Because you've made the time to take this assessment and tell me a little about you and your situation, I'd love to hook you up with a 24-hour access pass to watch this training now for free. In my How to Move to the Next Level Sales Leader free online training, I cover all three of these unconscious beliefs and the exact process to rewire the thinking that is most likely sabotaging your current environment. You'll discover the three beliefs you can change today that will immediately shift you towards better people decisions that will help you find and keep more high-performing salespeople, which will allow you more abundance and opportunity to enjoy life. Now, the only catch is this. In order to claim your free 24-hour access pass, you must go ahead and do this right now. While you're on this page, and before that countdown timer on the top of the screen goes to 0. So go ahead, do this right now while you're on the page and you're thinking about it. Simply click on the button below to claim your free 24-hour access pass and get instant access to the three beliefs that are holding salespeople back.